Hey guys, welcome to another original versus remake. And where are we talking about? The Grinch. The Grinch! Yes, I love The Grinch. And this is a original versus remake of the 2000s Grinch versus the 2018. And yes, you keyboard warriors, I know that the 2000s Grinch isn't the first Grinch, technically, movie. The 1960s Grinch TV movie was the first with Boris Karloff, and it is the best. There's no point of doing original versus remake because that is the definition of the best Grinch story. It is literally right off the book of Dr. Seuss. However, that is not a full-length feature film. It is a TV movie. The very first full-length feature Grinch film is 2000's The Grinch, starring Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. In a Ron Howard film. The Grinch.
Oh, somebody's fabulous!
Yes, it was a big hit. Loved it as a kid. But, you know what they say. Let's remake that shit and make some fucking money. And that's what Illumination Studios did in 2018 with their version of The Grinch.
The Grinch.
Let's do it. What is the better movie? Everyone says the Boris Karloff one is the best, but what's the better of these two? Is it the Jim Carrey Grinch or is it the Benedict Cumberbatch one? Original versus remake. Let's get to it. Let's start with our Grinchy character himself, the Grinch. Who is the better Grinch? Let's start with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was a huge staple of comedy in the 90s. Like, come on, with Ace Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, even his serious roles like The Truman Show and stuff. He was just a household name. Like, this guy was everywhere. It was Jim Carrey. And him playing the Grinch was excellent. Just excellent. The makeup, the designs, his movements and the Grinch, and like, he took a comedic approach, obviously, because the Grinch is not like a funny character. He's supposed to be like a menacing grump ass that just fucking hates Christmas. This was more of a comedic approach to the Grinch. And you see, this is what the remake, the Illumination movie, wanted to do. They didn't want to be like the 60s film. They wanted to be like Jim Carrey's The Grinch. So they wanted to make it more bright and colorful and, you know, funny, I guess, for more kids. For me, just this is a personal opinion, I think Benedict Cumberbatch is a dreadful, absolute dreadful Grinch. I don't like his Grinch. I don't sympathize with him. I don't even understand why he hates Christmas. He was just very alone on the holidays and just no one kind of wanted to be his friend. They don't go that much into detail. He's just kind of a jackass. That's really what he never is very evil or intimidating. He's just kind of a dick. That's just really it. And his reasoning is not very clear. He's just kind of a lonely dude, and he's got his dog Max, and that's really it. He's just kind of there. And I don't understand his motive. In the Jim Carrey Grinch, you understand why he hates Christmas. And you really understand why he hates the Who's of Whoville. Because when he was a kid, he was taken by a family, and he had a crush on a girl, and they were just mean to him. Like, mean. Like, fucking vicious to him. They picked on him, they called him names, and they always thought he was like a freak and stuff, and that's why he hated Christmas. And that all took place on the season of Christmas, and that's why he hates the Who's of Whoville, and that's why he hates Christmas. There's a clear definition, and there's a clear reasoning of why he is the way he is. So I just thought that was just more of an interesting character. Yes, he's goofy, he's silly, he's got the jokes and stuff, but you understand his Grinch character more. So that's why the edge goes to Jim Carrey's Grinch. So let's talk about the side characters, though. Let's talk about these side characters. We're talking about the Cindy Lou's, the Mayor, the Maxes and everything. Maybe even Santa Claus, who knows. Who's are the better side characters? I'll fully say what the Jim Carrey movie does with Jim Carrey's fantastic, but my fucking god, I hate these side characters in this movie. Yes, no, don't get me wrong. The side characters are pretty annoying in the Illumination one, but they make things better. Like the Cindy Lou in the Illumination one she's got a personality. She likes the toboggan. She wants to help her mom out. She's just like crazy about the winter and the Christmas season. She really wants to get Santa Claus. She builds these contraptions. There's something a lot going on with Cindy Lou, who in the live action one with Jim Carrey, the Cindy Lou is bland and boring. I don't know what the fuck she wants. She just like, because the Grinch saves her life, and she's like, I just want to know more about the Grinch and stuff. But like, I guess she kind of wants to find what the meaning of Christmas is and stuff. But I don't know, she's just so bland, just has no personality to her. In the animated one, she's bright, she's like buppity, she's doing some shit, and it's pretty great and stuff. I found a lot of the side characters in the live action one. They're so unlikable. They're all about materialistic things. They're all about competition. They're all about being the best. And they just don't feel like real who's. That makes the Grinch more interesting, so you understand why he hates them so much. But the side characters aren't interesting because they're all so competitive and just so materialistic and so greedy. And that's not the meaning of Christmas. Yes, the message is there at the ending, but you gotta suffer through these characters throughout the whole movie. See, in the animated film, they actually feel like the Who's of Whoville. Whovilles are accepting of everybody, and they love the spirit of Christmas, and they're not all about materialistic things and selfish things. And that's a big plus. I do love Max in both versions, because he's just a he's a funny, enjoyable side character for the Grinch, and just, that's all great now, but I think when it comes to side characters, which is mostly the Who's of Whoville, the Illumination animated one just does it better, so point goes to the animated one. Let's talk about the Christmas feel and the style of the movies. Let's talk about the 2001, the live action one. The style at first was terrible. Like it was gloomy and stuff, but when you buy like the 4K and the Blu-ray, they like brightened it all up and made it more colorful and vibrant and stuff. But in live action, it's very hard to do that. Create more of a Christmas feel and Christmas style. Like, sure, it's got a great message about how Christmas means a little bit more and stuff, but the animated one is just beautiful to look at. I hate the Grinch himself in the movie, but the style is beautiful. The snow, the colors, the Christmas, it is just Christmas orgasm for the eyes. And I love it. I love the style, I love the creativity, and it just screams Christmas when you look at that. So without even a debate, if we're going style or visuals, point goes to the animated one. Now we gotta talk about the comedy. We gotta talk about this humor and stuff. They both wanted to be funny films. Let's talk about it, shall we? This is not just based on the Grinch, just the Grinch himself. It's just, is the movies, are they funny? They're supposed to be comedy films. Are they funny? The original is very, very funny. Very funny.
Now for those who's inviting me down there on such short notice. Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 4:30, stare into the abyss. 5 o'clock, solve world hunger. Tell no one. 5:30, jazzercise. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again. 7 o'clock, wrestle with my self-loathing. I'm booked. Of course, if I bumped the loathing to 9, I could still be done in time to lay in bed, stare at the ceiling, and slip slowly into madness. But what would I wear?
Yeah, point goes to the original. Alright, lastly, let's decide this. Two, what gets the edge? What's the better movie? All comes down to the story. What has the better story? Well, The Grinch, the 2001, is very similar to the Dr. Seuss novel, as the Illumination animated one is as well. But the live action one, I keep calling it the original. It's more, I'll call it the live action. The live action one is a lot about the Grinch and about his tragedies and his past with the Who's of Whoville, and how he meets Cindy Lou Who, and she wants to give him a chance to get him to be accepted by the people. And when they even turn their back on him and make fun of him, he steals Christmas, but he realizes what he did was wrong. And even the Who's of Whoville realize what they did was wrong, and the spirit of Christmas is for the heart and for the family. And it shows the flaws of human beings, and it shows the greediness of human beings, especially around the holidays. And even nice people like the Who's of Whoville can be greedy and selfish and bullies. And I think a lot of people learn their lesson. Maybe not the mayor, but a lot of people learn their lesson and the message of that movie. And I think it's a very well-told story, and I think it's very good. The animated one isn't very clear on a message, because the Grinch is just a lonely guy who just hates Christmas for not very clear reasons, and then he just decides to steal Christmas. just out of nowhere. And the Who's are already likable, so they don't really have to learn much because they're already likable people. So there's not much arcs. But Cindy Lou has an interesting kind of story. She wants her mom to be happy, but then she realizes her mom's already happy because she has a daughter like Cindy. That's all lovely and beautiful. It's predictable, but it's very beautiful. But there is not much captivating storytelling. It's very paint by numbers. It's just the Grinch. He's kind of a dick, hates the Who's, wants to steal Christmas. Realizes at the end he can't steal Christmas. His Christmas is inside of here, and he gives the gifts back to the Who's of Whoville, joins their Christmas spirit, and they have a party happily ever after. But the thing is, the Who's already accepted him. That's the biggest problem. This is why it makes the 60s movie the best, because you don't know why the Grinch hates the Who's of Whoville. That's interesting. That's fascinating. That's what makes it the best. But out of these two films, the live action one does it better because you understand the motive of the Grinch, and you understand why he hates them and why he feels like he can never be accepted by them. When they finally accept him, it becomes a great and joyful Merry Christmas. Because that's what Christmas is all about. It's about the community. It's about family. It's about love. It's about being together. See, in the animated version, as sweet and innocent as it is, they already do that. They already wanted to accept the Grinch. He just didn't want to, and then when he finally steals Christmas, he's like, oh shit, I fucked up. Be part of the people. That, to me, isn't interesting. Because there's no arcs. No one learns from it. And as much as the live-action one can be a little unlikable at times, and a little distasteful, and I don't understand why the Who's are doing this, they learn from it. And that's what people do. In characters, we learn from our mistakes. And that's what makes a more enjoyable story for me. Arcs, relatability, and showing the humanism of people. But also has that great message. So for me, the story of the live action is a better story. And that's why the original live action Grinch movie is the best. So yeah. That's for me, though. I understand that the animal one's not a bad movie. There are great stuff in it, but that Jim Carrey one's a fucking classic. And I love it. So that was my little original versus remake of The Grinch 2000 versus 2018. So in the comment section below, please tell me what are your thoughts and opinions on these two Grinch films, and which one is your favorite? Let me know. Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.